It was supposed to be just another night at the downtown hotel, soft jazz playing, glasses clinking, people laughing under golden chandeliers. But behind the marble walls of the restroom, a woman's terrified voice echoed softly, pleading for help that no one could hear. And then, by pure accident, a single dad named Mark, exhausted from his double shift, walked into that same hallway, at the worst possible moment. What he saw next would change 3 lives forever. Hey everyone, welcome back to Kindness Chronicles, where real stories remind us that goodness still exists, even in the darkest corners. If you believe in the power of kindness, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support helps us keep spreading light through stories like this one. Mark Jacobs wasn't a hero. At least, that's what he always told himself. He was a mechanic from Ohio, a single dad to a 10-year-old girl named Lily, just trying to keep food on the table. After his wife passed away 3 years ago, his world had turned gray. Most days, he just worked, cooked, helped Lily with homework, and went to bed. That night, he was at the downtown Hilton Hotel fixing a broken air conditioning unit. It was well past 9 p.m., and all he could think about was getting home before Lily fell asleep. He was tired, covered in grease, sweat dripping down his forehead when he decided to stop by the restroom near the ballroom before heading out. He heard laughter and music echoing from the charity gala next door. It was a world far from his own. Men in suits, women in glittering dresses, champagne glasses raised high. He didn't know it then, but one of those guests was Rebecca Miles, the CEO of a major tech company, a woman known for her confidence, intelligence, and sharp presence. She had built her empire from scratch, but tonight, all her power couldn't save her. Rebecca had stepped out of the ballroom to take a call when 2 men colleagues she vaguely recognized followed her down the hallway. Their voices were friendly at first, teasing even, but when she tried to leave, one of them blocked the door. "Hey, don't be like that," one of them slurred. "We're just having fun." Rebecca's heart raced. She backed away, clutching her phone, but before she could react, they cornered her near the restroom door. Fear crept up her spine. She could smell the alcohol on their breath. She tried to keep calm, to speak firmly, but they didn't listen. When they shoved her inside the women's restroom, she screamed a short, broken sound that was swallowed by the loud music from the ballroom. And that's when Mark walked into the hallway. He heard something, a muffled cry, a struggle, something that didn't sound right. His instincts kicked in. He hesitated for just a second, heart pounding. He could have kept walking. It wasn't his business. But something deep inside, the same instinct that made him protect his daughter from every danger, told him he couldn't ignore it. He pushed open the door. Inside, the scene froze in front of him, 2 men towering over a terrified woman, her back pressed against the marble counter. Her eyes met his wide, pleading, desperate. Without thinking, Mark shouted, "Hey! What the hell are you doing?" The men spun around, startled. "Mind your business, man," one growled. But Mark stepped forward, adrenaline surging. "She said no." "You heard her." One of the men, clearly drunk, tried to shove him, but Mark blocked his arm and pushed him back hard. "Get out before I call the cops," he said, his voice shaking but firm. The taller man hesitated. Maybe it was the look in Mark's eyes, or maybe they realized this was no longer a private moment. They cursed under their breath and stormed out. For a second, silence filled the air. Rebecca's hands trembled as she adjusted her dress. Her eyes welled with tears she had fought to hold back. Mark looked away, giving her space. "You okay, ma'am?" he asked softly. She nodded, trying to steady her breathing. "Thank you. I didn't think anyone would hear." He smiled faintly. "Guess I was in the right place at the wrong time." Rebecca almost laughed through her tears. "No," she whispered, "the right place, at the right time." A few minutes later, hotel security arrived. The 2 men were detained, and the police were called. Rebecca gave her statement, still shaken but grateful beyond words. Mark quietly waited outside, not wanting to make a scene. When the officers left, Rebecca approached him again. "You saved me," she said. Mark shrugged. Anyone would have done the same. But they both knew that wasn't true. In a world where most people look away, Mark had chosen to act. The next morning, Mark returned to work like nothing had happened. He dropped Lily off at school, fixed 2 cars, and ate a quick lunch at his desk. He didn't even tell anyone about what he'd done. To him, it wasn't heroism, it was humanity. But that night, his phone rang. "Mr. Jacobs?" The voice on the other end was calm and elegant. "This is Rebecca Miles." He froze. "Oh. Ms. Miles. Are you okay?" "I am, thanks to you," she said. "Listen, I wanted to meet you. Could we have coffee tomorrow?" He hesitated. "Sure, I guess." The next day, they met at a small cafe downtown. Rebecca looked nothing like the terrified woman from the night before. She was poised, confident again, but her eyes softened when she saw him. "You didn't just help me," she said. "You reminded me that there are still good people out there. I've spent years building a company, chasing success, but I forgot what really matters: kindness, courage, doing the right thing." Mark smiled humbly. "I just did what anyone should." Rebecca paused. "Then I wish more people were like you." She reached into her bag and handed him a card. "If you ever need anything, a job, a recommendation, a favor, you call me." "I mean that." He didn't know what to say. He thanked her and left, not realizing that moment would soon change his life again. 2 months later, the auto shop Mark worked for closed down. The owner retired suddenly, and Mark found himself without income. Bills piled up. He tried everything: freelance repairs, odd jobs, anything to keep the lights on for Lily. Then one morning, his phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. "Mr. Jacobs, this is Rebecca Miles. I heard about your situation," she said. "Come to my office." When he arrived, her assistant led him into a glass-walled conference room overlooking the city skyline. Rebecca greeted him with a warm smile. "I told you, if you ever needed anything, I'd be there," she said. "My company is opening a new division for automotive innovation. We need someone practical, hands-on, who understands real people. I want you to lead that team." Mark blinked, stunned. "Me? But I'm not an engineer. I'm just a mechanic." Rebecca smiled. "You're more than that. You're someone who acts when it matters. That's the kind of person I trust to build something real." Tears welled up in his eyes. "I don't know what to say." "Say yes," she replied softly. And he did. Months later, Mark was thriving, leading a small team, designing new systems, and finally giving Lily the life she deserved. But more than success, what stayed with him was the simple truth that one moment of courage had changed everything. Rebecca often told her board the story not about the night in the restroom, but about the man who walked in and reminded her that kindness is not weakness. It's strength in its purest form. Sometimes, life puts us in places we never expect, moments where we have to choose between silence and action. Mark chose to act, not for reward or recognition, but because kindness is who he was. And that one choice, to step forward instead of walking away, became the ripple that turned fear into hope, and strangers into friends. So, if you ever find yourself standing at that crossroads, remember, even small acts of courage can change someone's entire world. Because kindness isn't just what we do. It's who we are, when no one's watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Kindness Chronicles, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder that heroes still walk among us, quietly, kindly, and often, at just the right moment.